cut that out. You're not allowed to say that word anymore.
No, you're not. You get canceled.
Well, we have to have an audience to get canceled.
You have one in the Netherlands, apparently.
Do I? Yeah.
You're like 78 on the parenting.
That's because there's only like 80 parenting podcasts in the Netherlands. We're at the bottom. How's it going, YouTubes?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in to the Old Fashioned Dad podcast and our ramblings. We welcome you, and thanks for tuning in to watch us smoke a whiskey and drink a cigar. Wait, I said that backwards.
Yeah, it's going to end up bad for you.
Drink whiskey, smoke a cigar. So we have whiskey, cigar, and we have a topic all lined up for you today. Hopefully it'll be relatively quick for your drive to work or your, I don't know, what else would you do while listening to a podcast? Shower?
If you're Catholic, maybe doing some penances, and this is, like your self-torture, listening to this podcast. Yeah.
Or if you need to go to sleep real quick at night.
Yeah, that's
put
what
this
I
podcast on.
Yep, puts me out in like 30 seconds. It's great.
Yeah, just listening to Christian is making me sleepy.
I know, I've got a very sultry voice.
With that said, here we go. We are the Old Fashioned Dad podcast, seeking to love dads and men through the person and work of Jesus Christ, while entering into tough conversations on marriage, mental health, sex, and parenting, all while sipping good whiskey.
Boom, we're back.
So we're drinking some more Branch and Barrel, right? We enjoyed it the previous episode, so we thought we'd bring it back for second go-round.
I just like the name.
Branch and Barrel. You know,
Branch
the
and
bottle
Barrel.
is really nice.
It is nice.
Yeah. I still haven't... You're going to have to pull on that one. Wow. Hopefully this CrossFit's going to work out for you.
It's so hard.
That didn't have proper form.
I know. I hurt my back.
Well, like the previous episode, Branch Barrel out of Colorado, coming in at 90 proof. You know, I think it's aged around 2 to 3 years. Probably 3 years.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers to that. Got a cigar that I'm getting into.
Do you like these whiskey cups?
They're not
whiskey
bad.
glasses?
They're not bad.
You see those?
They're not bad.
Handmade in Iraq. I got them when I was deployed there.
What do the symbols mean?
I have no idea, but it came with 6 of these cups. Only 3 of them made it in transit.
It looks like there's an octopus on one of them. This thing looks like an octopus, sort of.
Oh, is that what that is?
Well, before we divert into tangents, we're talking about something today, right?
I don't remember what it was. It was my idea, but what was the topic?
It was your idea, and I'm happy to refresh you. Making fun of other people.
Oh, yes.
Right? I mean, this could be... We can go a lot of different directions with this, so I'm curious which direction you're going to go with it. And I'm just going to riff off of...
I figured I'd just roast you this whole time. Is that cool?
It might trigger me, but all right.
I've never really understood those roasting shows. I'm like, that's just...
You got to feel pretty bad afterwards, you know, sitting up there just being like, just attacked.
It makes me feel like I'm in high school again. That's what it makes me feel like. I'm like grown adults just trying to like get the sickest burns in. I'm just like, is this fun?
Yeah.
Does people enjoy this? I don't know.
One of the sickest burns I've had recently was somebody saw a picture that I posted on my Denim and Whiskey channel on Instagram, and they said, "Wow, looks like Shia LaBeouf really let himself go."
That's pretty funny.
I was like, I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or not. I was like, thanks. So many snarky things went through my head on what to say back, but generally, rule number 1 on the internet: you don't feed a troll.
No, don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
This makes them stronger.
Yeah. So where are we going? I mean, I do think this is kind of an interesting topic.
Sure.
You know, we're saying don't be mean to people. Is that what you're saying, or what did I say it was again?
Making fun of people.
Making fun of people.
So I was just thinking about this the other day. I mean, there's all sorts of ways this could manifest itself. Like, I used to be pretty sarcastic in my younger days. I just chalked it up to just being, an
a-hole.
Well, yeah, a-hole. Well, no, being a Gen Xer, growing up in the '90s. We're known for just sarcasm and bitterness and
just dripping cynicism.
Yeah, just cynical. And at some point, maybe it was accepting Christ that started changing.
Christ has that effect on people.
He does. He does have that effect. I mean, and if he doesn't...
Even on Gen Xers.
Yeah. If he doesn't change who you are, I'm going to question whether or not you actually know him.
Do you know the gospel?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. It's, you know, I mean, in business and personally, you know, I think in general, that's warm. That's nice. The thing just torches up, doesn't it? So I'm on this app I've been trying to get Christian to be on called Clubhouse.
He is all about this right now.
It's pretty cool, especially if you're in a podcast. So it's iOS only right now, so only on iPhones. It's in beta, but it's basically voice only conversations. So think about like podcasts are on demand, right? You go and listen to them anytime. This is live podcast essentially. So you can go into rooms at different topics, talking about different things. Like for example, Elon Musk almost broke it last night. So Elon Musk was on there and found out that the rooms have 5,000 person capacity.
Oh.
This Clubhouse.
Keep talking.
Okay,
I'll
anyway.
see it.
Yeah, that one right there.
That one right there.
Yeah, you can show people what it looks like.
Clubhouse.
So I mean, you've got. It's really interesting because you can do it by go to rooms by topic, but basically it'll recommend rooms to you based on the people you follow who follow you back. And there's no messaging. The only social media aspect is that you can link your Twitter and or your Instagram.
So it's just you're talking and nobody else is really commenting.
Well, and so you could I could start a room and just have and start it as a given topic. And I can invite people in, people who follow me can jump in and have a discussion. And so I've done this on marketing, content marketing, some real estate stuff, like how to start a podcast, like that kind of stuff. And we'll just, and so people will just join in, and when they join the room, they join as listeners. So whoever's on stage, they could be a moderator or whatever, and the moderator can add other people's moderators, invite people on stage. If people raise their hand to be on stage, you can select them. They can come up, ask the questions, join the conversation.
I see.
So it's voice only. Now you can have a bio in there, and then you can link to your Twitter or your Instagram. And then people can DM or whatever within Instagram, obviously. And so it's really interesting. But I mean, I bring this up because I think in general in life, you tend to draw people who like your energy, who like what you stand for, what you do, how you think.
I like your energy.
Well, thank you. I like your energy. And so you attract those people, and presumably the opposite's true. You repel people who don't see eye to eye with you.
True. And
so I was in a Clubhouse room the other night. It was called Real Estate Uncensored, late night real estate uncensored or whatever.
That sounds risque.
And so I don't know a lot of people in here, but one of the main moderators in there, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that she's just kind of a nasty woman. Just cussing up a storm, making fun of people, making fun of other people and how they, do things on Instagram and or on Clubhouse and stuff. And it just kind of got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, I guess these people are out there. I don't really surround myself with people, so I think everyone's kind of like me, just wants to make the world a better place and help people. Coming from a place of helping, as opposed to I don't make myself feel better by just digging on people. And so it kind of got me thinking, I guess there's probably still a good chunk of people out there, trolls and whatever else that are damaged, and they get their rocks off on, making, dragging people down, instead of lifting people up. Which, this is a little bit of a tangent, I guess, but I mean, that kind of got me thinking about making fun of people. Is that okay? Because I mean, I also come from a military background, and that's a part of the camaraderie.
Right.
If you're part of a military unit or a group, and the culture is that of making fun of people, and you're not being made fun of, you're probably an outsider. You're probably not part of the group. So it's almost like a love language within the military. And it kind of gets you thick skin, and you generally know that they're not serious. They don't actually hate you. They don't actually believe the things that they're saying. It's just kind of part of that culture.
Right.
Which side note, don't bring that home to your spouse, because they don't respond the same way.
Yeah, right.
When you bring home that abrasive, cynical attitude.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of thinking, like, is there room, for Christians to be cynical, to like make fun of people, to, is that acceptable? Is that building up the body? Is that saying things that are edifying and true and helpful and hopeful? I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking this. That's
interesting. That's good because like my brain starts going in the direction of like kind of overt making fun of people versus like there's covert stuff that I think as Christians we do that maybe we don't think is necessarily tearing down the body or even necessarily not being Christ-like. But yeah, so like that's where my brain goes. So on the troll topic, I think the
let's assume not everyone listening or watching understands what maybe a troll is.
And if you don't understand what a troll is, I'm going to troll you right now. You're living under a rock. So when we talk about an internet troll, we're talking about people that would maybe stop by a social media page, like maybe they would stop by the Old Fashioned Dad podcast and call us a bunch of idiots.
Right. Be like you Christian dads are abusing your kids and you're a bunch of bigots.
Yeah.
That would be a troll. They don't know us. They just want to, cast hate into the world.
Right. So what I think has been kind of the rise in internet trolldom. Is that a word? That's a word.
It is now.
It is now. Internet trolldom has been the inception of the internet. It allows kind of anonymously you to jump into a person's life kind of haphazardly, and say this mean, nasty thing, and think that it has no consequence.
Sure.
It's not going to have any negative impact. And on our previous episode, we kind of touched a little bit on social media, where especially when it comes to young people, and I think you brought up like young girls, the rates of depression and suicide are up. Why? Because of social media, and because of not just in the comparing of who you are on social media to other people that maybe you consider to be of greater stature, but because there's also trolls, and
Sure.
people being made fun of
right.
on social media.
Yeah, I mean, when we were kids, I mean, I was picked on, I was bullied.
Same here.
But it stopped when I went home. All I had to do was dread going to school. I didn't have to worry about it once I got home.
Right.
Nowadays, it doesn't stop.
No,
if they've got social media, they have an iPhone.
Just pull up your phone. Oh,
Right.
there I'm being made fun of.
Right. It's like I made this post and I only got 5 likes. Oh my God, my world is crumbling because.
Oh wait, that actually does hurt.
Right, but just think about that like as a 40-year-old man. We can take that a little better than I remember the ridiculous drama and emotions of being a 13-year-old boy. Amplify that by not being able to get away from it. And then have people, posting online, not liking your stuff. It's not
right. And then the next day at school, people commenting on that, your
right.
posting habits and your comments and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're uncool, that uncoolness is going to follow you and be amplified online.
So, you ask a good question.
I know. Wait, which one?
And you're good looking when you ask that question.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You good looking people got to stay together. I digress. But you ask a good question. Is there room in Christian community, and I stress this part, Christian community. We're not saying secular community, because we know that already exists. But within Christian community, to make fun of others. And now, are we saying making fun of other Christians, or just making fun of other people? Anybody?
I mean, I guess to me it comes down to the nature of it. Is it mean-spirited? Is it to tear them down and destroy them, or is it in jest? Like me making fun of you looking like a unkempt Shia LaBeouf. I'm not trying to like destroy your soul with that comment.
But you know what?
It's superficial.
But we have, and so that goes. We have relational equity where you can
Sure.
make that comment to me, and I'm not going to be like, oh man, yeah, I really do look like an out of work actor, that like is homeless and maybe has a drinking problem.
This all sounds kind of true.
But you can make those comments to me, and I'm not going to be like, man, wow, what is Christian really trying to say about me?
Sure.
Like, I'll just perceive that as like, he's just kind of poking at me.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, maybe the danger would be if that's more embedded in your personality, like if you're, genuinely a sarcastic, cynical person, and everyone you interact with you drag down just because of your outlook on life, which may not be super evident if you're that person. So hopefully you got a good Christian brother or sister to speak into that if the people around you are like, as opposed to being, edified and filled with hope and encouragement.
Yeah, so I was trying to look up a piece of scripture while you were talking, but I'm pretty sure it's in the epistles where Paul is like saying, don't let any coarse language come out of your mouth. Now, that's pretty broad,
Sure.
like the culture and time that he was talking to, coarse language might have looked a little bit different, but maybe coarse language really applies to our heart.
Sure. I mean, the human heart hasn't changed over 2,000 years.
No, right. Like, so he's speaking to the heart as much as he is speaking to maybe, like, he knows that language and times are probably going to change, and what was offensive then may not be offensive now, and what's offensive now may not have been offensive then. Like, that sort of stuff changes. But like, if the human heart is like, I don't like you, and I'm going to point out all of your deficiencies in time and cultural relevancy.
Sure.
Like, I think, anyways, so the Bible points out, like, don't let, any coarse language come out of your mouth. So as Christians, I'm like, okay, so that seems to be a command. So what is considered coarse language? Is it by the letter of the law? Like, don't say swear words and don't say potty language, or
Bathroom talk.
or is it like, are we getting into stuff like, say, gossip and stuff that would tear people down?
Right.
Which
I guess categorically it's good to make that distinction, because I mean, I can't think of a situation where gossip is ever an okay thing for a Christian to do. Because you're essentially talking smack behind people's back, whether or not it's true, which I don't think is a good characteristic. Oh, nice and warm. A good characteristic of someone who follows Christ. If you've got an issue, take it to that person, that can actually do something about it, not spread dissent amongst the peer group.
Right. So the topic at hand is making fun of people, and the question is there room for it in the Christian community? And you kind of have some different ways in which people can be made fun of. You can be really coarse in the language that you use, or you could potentially, or I should say, you could be making fun of them through gossip. Sure. And so we would say,
well, and then I'd almost say that's worse, because you're probably putting on a smile in front of them while behind their back your heart, towards of evil is coming out.
Yeah. And so we would say, as Christians, categorically, theologically,
yes.
You like that categorically?
Yeah. Ecclesiastically.
That word.
What's the real word?
That soteriology? I don't know. Ecclesiology?
There you go.
There it is. We got there.
He went to college.
We got there. We would say, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
We don't gossip. Because one, it's inviting poison to live within your heart as a believer, and again, not edifying to the body. So, like, if there's poison within the body, that usually, you want to eradicate it. You don't want to allow it to thrive.
Yeah. I mean, and I believe this is a dad podcast, and so I'll bring it back to that, because I just had this conversation with Jenny last night. It's kind of like this conversation's on the podcast. I don't know how it comes off, but it's usually me reminding myself that I need Jesus, and how I need to be a better parent and father.
Yeah.
And so was the conversation I had with my wife last night, where it was really good and, to use a Christianese word, fruitful.
Nice.
Yes, thank you. Get extra point for that. Where she was talking about a lot of the time when I get frustrated, I come off as very negative, which is a lot of the time when I'm at home.
Pragmatic.
What?
Pragmatic. Come off as pragmatic. No, pessimistic is the word you would use.
Yeah, that's the word. Is that what I said?
No. sometimes people use the term. Anyways, we can go into another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pessimistic. Negative, downer, not encouraging.
Yeah.
Assuming the worst. That sort of thing. And she got me thinking. She's like, you relate much better to me and to my wife and to our son when you're using humor, when you're being silly, when you're being jovial, and you kind of break through like those fits or for our son the strong reactions where he's angry and just reacting. Like I can usually diffuse it with some humor or being funny.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of encouraging me, like let's we want to see more of the hopeful, encouraging, fun, silly Christian. Not the angry, annoyed, assuming the worst. And I'm like, that's really good. I mean, just practically speaking, it's more effective in parenting and in being a good spouse. But it's also what's like good for my soul and what's glorifying to God.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
mic drop.
Mic drop. But I don't know if I really have anything more to add to that. I mean, like, I think the takeaway is, like, there really isn't any room for, making fun of people. Like, we know that that's going to happen. And as Christians, we should certainly be on guard for it in the way that we conduct ourselves, especially as dads, because we're raising kids.
Sure.
And so if
we do that and talk about people that way behind closed doors and our kids and wives hear that, like, that's going to be like, oh, that's how you do it. Yeah,
and even if you kind of do it a little bit in secret, and I got a brother-in-law who'll give me a little bit of crap about this, but that's fine. We love each other. But I think that we do have to be vigilant about how we conduct ourselves in front of our kids, even if like it's kind of in secret behind closed doors, because they may not hear, but we're still kind of allowing that to exist in our lives to where, maybe down the road we might slip and they might catch us doing it and they think that it's okay, to make fun of others. Like the human heart already naturally wants to go that direction anyways.
Sure.
Why give it fuel? Why give it food? So that's what we constantly have to be on guard for. And in this particular climate that we're in, so easy to do, to divide in kind of tribalism, like them versus us, and we'll justify it by saying like, well, they think this way, so we can make fun of them, or they're less than, or whatever,
Sure.
So.
Sure. Well, in that regard, I mean, it's always convicting to me when I can step back from kind of that tribalism or us versus them, whether it's politics or whatever, and remember like that person, maybe they wronged me or I don't see eye to eye, like they're a child of God. Yes. God loves them just as much as they love me.
Yeah.
And Jenny reminded me yesterday, like Nolan's a little man. He's a human being entrusted to us by God, but he's a full, creature of God, made in His image, just like we are. Yeah. And it's our job to, hopefully impart, wisdom and guidance, so that he, grows up to know, trust, and love God. That's our primary job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess feeding him and clothing too, but you get my
secondary.
point. Yeah.
It's all secondary. So, our hope and goal that that we're accomplishing today is that we're emphasizing the point that there's not space for making fun of others, especially within Christian community, because it really does taint our testimony.
You said taint.
I said taint.
I'm actually a 14-year-old in a 40-year-old body.
That's all mine. I'm 12. But it does kind of mar, how about that?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. It does mar our testimony of who Jesus Christ is, and it really does make people think like, well, really, what is separating you as Christians from the secular community if you're just as much of a jerk or just as much of a butthole? I said butthole.
You did say butthole.
So, dads and moms, don't make fun of people. As hard as that might be, because Facebook and Instagram and all the social medias really, 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 and I cannot emphasize that more, make it easy for you to make fun of people because of the trolldom.
Can I put a fine point on that?
Absolutely. Please do.
I think when we're talking about making fun of people, the motivation comes down to we think we're better than other people.
Yes.
And so that's pride, right?
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
Yeah. Ow. So I think that's the root. Not just like don't do this behavior, but like keep your pride in check. If you find yourself thinking, man, that person's a moron because they don't think the same way I think, there's probably some empathy and prayer that needs to happen there. I mean, they could still be wrong, but it doesn't mean they're any less of a person.
Yeah. So, are we ready to put this one away?
Yeah, let's put it away.
Okay. Moms, dads, moms. Because I guess moms are listening now, right?
I know my mom's listening, which is a little weird, but maybe there's other moms listening.
I know a few other moms that are listening.
All right. Hey, if you're a mom and you're listening, leave a comment about something, what you want to hear, what your husband needs to hear. Ooh, yeah, that's good. What does your husband need to hear?
And or a topic that you might be particularly interested in. If you would particularly? I don't know what I was going to say.
Particular?
If you would like to potentially be on the show as a mom that listens to us, drop us a line.
That could be interesting.
Looking at you, Janice.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Janice. Does she listen?
She does.
Okay. Sorry, Janice. Sorry you got to put up with us.
Janice definitely listens. We love you, Janice. We love you. We care about you. We continue to pray for you. And that's not just us saying that right here on the podcast. I know we do say that a lot.
Christian actually prays for you. I do too.
I'm constantly encouraging. I'm texting, hey, are you praying for all our listeners? But we care about you. And so please do check us out on all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Leave us a review as this will help get the podcast out there and help other people. We hope that it's helpful. And so we're going to continue to make these and smoke these cigars and drink this whiskey because really somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And we're happy to kind of fall on our sword for that one. So
it's a sacrifice, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah. So with that said, all the people out there in digital land, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.